What up, crew? What up, crew? Shoot, boy. Woo. Time for Big Mike to go ahead and turn the world on its axis once again, man. Yeah, once again, as you know, when you come over here to my spot, man, we require that y'all have just a modicum of intelligence, man, have the ability to connect dots. They just be grown men. Right? I don't know how many females listening to me. I doubt we do, because there ain't nothing about my show that screams emotions and feelings. We don't do that over here, man. We factual over here, you feel me? But before I proceed with today's topic, man, allow me to digress, go backwards in time. Yeah, my last joint I did, man, when I was speaking on those, man, I don't even know what to call them, man, them genetic throwbacks up there in Chicago, man, doing what they do, man, you know what I mean? I was speaking on the Hegelian dialectic, man, and like so many times when I get to rapping and talking and shit, man, sometimes, you know, I get thrown off course, man, and I neglected to actually really get into what the Hegelian dialectic was, actually. What I mean by that is, when I told y'all, it was about presenting a problem, getting a reaction, then offering a solution. What I neglected to tell y'all, for those that's not in the know, hopefully many of y'all know this, right? These problems are actually going to be caused by the government. Then they're going to hopefully get some sort of reaction to the problem that they themselves caused. And then once they get a reaction from the commoner, from the plebeians, then guess what? Then the government will offer a solution to the very problem that they created in the first place. So that's what I neglected to actually drive home in the last show, man. The problems that are being presented to you today are actually caused by the very people that's actually offering the solutions to the problems. And that's what I mean by most folks having low IQs, not being able to read between the lines and see that your very saviors are actually those who wish to enslave you. Yeah, you gotta war game this shit, man. It's real simple war gaming, man. Well, anyway, let's get on with the new topic. So, if you're in your feelings about this particular subject, I recommend that you just click pause or stop and just move on. Because I know Negroes, when it comes to things of this nature, Negroes are especially sensitive to it, man. They can't really handle the heat. You know what I mean? And I try not to get on this little soapbox that I'm about to jump on, man, because I typically offend a lot of people, right? And, I mean, ultimately, I get on here and I say shit like, you know, motherfuck you and your feelings, and I don't care who you are, and I ain't here to be liked and all of that. Well, I mean, to a degree that's true, but I don't want to just make needless enemies, and I don't want to just needlessly have people hate me, you know what I'm saying? So this current situation, this current subject, I tend to swerve it a lot. Now, back in the day, about 10, 15 years ago, it was one of my favorite subjects, man. It was one of my favorite joints. I couldn't get enough of it. I love speaking on it, man. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go to my other channel, Philosopher King Central, and you'll see Big Mike was always talking about religion, philosophy, the occult, and metaphysics. I loved that topic, man. I loved it. But then I got this epiphany, man. I was just like, niggas don't get two fucks about that, man. They really don't. Now, these days, we do have an awakening, I must admit. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of youngsters that's actually gravitating towards the subject, man. They're really fascinated about who we are and where we came from and what we used to be and what we used to be on and what we built and this, that, and the third. Much more so than when I was coming up. You know what I mean? To be so-called pro-black, into black studies and whatnot, a lot of times, you know what I mean, you were just seen as a weird nigga, man. You know what I mean? Not so much these days. It's kind of avant-garde. It's kind of in vogue to be on that, man. But that's neither here nor there, man. So I'm just going to answer a couple of questions, right? And once again, I'm going to try and be as respectful as possible because, you know, I've just learned that wherever you are in your learning process, I mean, that's just where you are. All right? I don't have the right to be talking smack to you. I don't have the right to be downing you. I don't have the right to be talking shit. You know what I mean? Because I used to do that. And why did I used to do that? Because the Christians used to do that to me. Oh my, what used to just set me off, man, when I would get a Christian coming up to me, telling me that I'm a sinner and I'm going to hell and, what was another? I'm going to pray for you. And I'm just like, bitch, nigga, you better recognize who you talking to, man. I'm thinking the nerve of this nigga, man. You know what I mean? Went to Sunday school, learned a little. Now, hold on. Check this out. Now, this is me back in the day. It's not me now. So, you know, don't get your tissues out your box just yet, okay? Like I said, I'm going to try and be respectful a little bit later on. I'm just telling you how I used to get down, right? Whenever someone used to talk crazy to me, that was from the church, man. I used to get in their ass, man. So that just spilled over into, you know, I would just go on the offense, man. I wouldn't even wait for a motherfucker to even say anything goofy to me, man. I'd just be like, man, I would just come straight out the box with the razor blades and the chainsaws on your ass, man, and just cut you to ribbons. You know what I mean? Because shit, I had read the Quran, the 5 baskets of Buddha Zen, the Pentateuch, man, the Talmud. You know, I was studying up on Sufism, Gnosticism, Kabbalism. I mean, I was a gangster, man. And here this individual is who may have read a couple of books in the Bible. Because let's just be honest, man. You know, I was a Christian. Most Christians ain't really thoroughly reading that book, man. You know what I mean? They rely on the pastor to give them their bread and butter, man. You know what I mean? And most cats read excerpts, you know, just pockets of information out the Bible, man. I mean, they ain't really understanding the 66 books of the Helios Biblios, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I used to go all in on your ass, man, when you came to me talking that shit. You know what I mean? Trying to belittle me just because I wasn't into what you was into. And the thing was, like I said, I used to be what they were. So it didn't matter what kind of argument they came with. I could counter this shit quick, fast, you know, with the quickness, in a hurry. But bruh, they couldn't fuck with me. You know what I mean? When I would bring certain things up, I mean, they were just lost in space. Totally lost in space, man, when I was bringing up Sumerian tablets and the emerald tablets and the Quran and the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salam. Or the Book of Enoch, man, or the lost books of the Bible, man. You know what I mean? I just, like, man, you out of your depth. You out of your league, nigga. You know what I mean? That's just a little bit of the stuff I used to digest, man. You know what I mean? So, now that I'm done, you know, jacking myself off here, what is the main thing I got on here just to tell y'all, man? Because this came up in a conversation I had with a friend I had today, right? And this friend I have, we don't necessarily really speak or talk about religion. But, he was asking me, like, what is the main problem that you have with Christianity, man? And I don't really have a problem with Christianity per se. I have an issue and I have a problem with religion, period. Not just Christianity, man. Now, I harp on Christianity, or I used to, because, this is the main religion in which I live. So there's a lot of people that's just irritating me and talking crazy to me who are Christians. So, yeah, those are the individuals that get that work, man. But it's just not a Christian thing. It's a religion thing, man. Like I said, it's the audacity. It's the simple fact that they don't even know what they're reading. They don't. And as advanced as I am, or I think I am, there's still things that I need to study up on and I need to learn up on, man. You know what I mean? So what is my main problem or my main issue? Actually, there are certain things that Christianity that I'm totally against, that goes against my core, goes against my nature. Because remember, I told you that, religion in itself kind of irritates me, man. But I got to admit, man, I used to love Al-Islam when I was in the Sunnah of Islam, man. When I practiced the Deen of Islam. That was the first time I actually loved a religion, man. I really loved it, man. It was really masculine, man. And Al-Islam pushed me towards knowledge. You know what I mean? Just some of the phrases in the Quran, surahs and the ayats in the Quran used to say to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave and from here unto China and whatnot, man. These were the things that were basically the opposite of what Christianity was about, man. Christianity was about leaning not onto your own understanding. And then when you would basically go to the very beginning of creation itself, they claim that the Most High God created a garden and he commanded Adam and Eve to stay ignorant and to not learn and to forsake and to shun knowledge, the tree of knowledge. And so that right then and there, you know what I mean? That never sat well with me, man. You know what I mean? Especially upon further reflection and further study, I now understand why that story is in the Bible and who that individual actually is who told Adam and Eve not to educate themselves or learn anything and stay ignorant. But I ain't even gonna get on that. I'm gonna let you do what you do and believe what you believe, man. I'm just gonna give y'all my spiel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Al-Islam, man, it was beautiful to me, man. I used to love just the smell of the oils and the incense, man. I used to love doing Ramadan, man. Fasting and breaking the fast. It was a cool thing, man. Especially when you got with a whole bunch of other serious Muslim brothers, man. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing, man. But like all things, I had to grow and evolve up out of that because I started to see certain things in Al-Islam that I didn't like that I seen in Christianity, man. And that was that you had to bow down to a religious hierarchy, a religious structure, man. And what they said goes, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and if you don't do this, and you don't do that, then you're a infidel, and all. I wasn't on that shit, man. I'm like, I just want to know the truth of whatever I'm into, man. I want to know the actual facts, man. The actual factuals of everything, man. So, yeah, man, I had to go ahead and get out of Al-Islam, man, shit. But I still kept the black Muslim slant, man, dealing with the Nation of Islam and the 5% Nation, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Clarence 13X, Noble Drew Ali, all of them cats. I still kept some of them lessons, man, in my back pocket because, yeah, they was rotating on some heavy ass shit too, man. But what is my main issue with Christianity, man? And my main issue with Christianity, and there are many of them, but the main thing with me is it's just not masculine enough, man. It's, once again, this is just me. I mean, you can see it a different way, but this is just me. It's just not masculine enough. It's very feminine. Hence the reason why you have a lot of women packed in the church. Because, you know, it's got a lot of female, feminine energy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Now, what do I mean by that is, you know how chicks get down, man. Chicks do not want to be accountable for anything. It ain't my fault. And if they do get caught with their hands in the cookie jar, they want somebody else to take the rap. They want somebody else to take the heat because they are not accountable for what the fuck they do. And guess what? This is the whole spiel. This is the whole shtick of Christianity. Yeah. That's what Christianity is all about. You are not smart enough. You are not wise enough. You are not good enough to enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, you need someone to pay your way. You need someone to pay the ransom. You need someone to spill and shed their blood on your behalf to get you a ticket into the kingdom of God. Because you yourself, you're not good enough. You can't do it. There's no way in hell that you're going to be able to get that off. Right? So, the very concept of the dispensation of grace, it just don't rock with me, man. I'm a man, and whatever I do in life, in this life or the afterlife, I want to earn it. I want to know that whatever I got coming is whatever I got coming, Jack. Shit. If I fell short, if I didn't make the grade, then hey, it is what it is. But no, I'm not asking nobody to take no whips for me. I'm not asking nobody to be nailed to the cross for me. I mean, to me, that's some bitch shit, man. And me as a man, I can't do it. I cannot be in a philosophy or a religion that allows me to escape getting whipped, beat, and sacrificed, and someone else gets tortured on my behalf. What kind of bitch ass shit is that? I can't do it, Jack. I can't do it. Now, once again, I know. And now this is for all the individuals who are evolved out there, who know and understand that the whole story of Jesus and the crucifixion and all of that. Yeah, I'm very aware that it's all metaphorical. It's all symbolic. And more than likely, it didn't even happen in a physical sense. More than likely. I mean, there's a couple ways you can look at it. You can look at it as, you know, Yehoshua actually being a historical character who had mythological and super duper magical accounts attributed to his life in order to point to some higher lessons in itself. Then you got people basically saying that Jesus was actually an alien and ascended elder from the Palladian system, and you know, I don't get into all that shit. I'm more so of the slant that it's all astrotheology, and everything that you pretty much read in the book of the Bible is pretty much pointing to the heavens and the movement of the sun, the moon, and the stars. And they're telling you about these movements of the sun, moon, and stars because there's a time, there's a chronology. This is the way that recorded time. And they knew that certain events would happen on Earth that was cyclical, that was destructive. So they were always obsessing, looking at the sun, the moon, the stars, you know, in the heavens and whatnot. Whenever you would have these conjunctions or these alignments, you know what I mean? They knew that it was time to go underground in order to survive cataclysms and whatnot. And that's why they hid all of these secrets and these truths in these holy books and these stories and passed them down from generation to generation. They passed these truths and these mathematical cyclical models of the heavens They put them in stories and they put them in their architecture. Mainly their pyramids and whatnot, man. So yeah, I done said too much on that. Let's get off of that. But basically going back to the whole concept of the myth of the crucifixion, of Jesus being crucified for your sins because you ain't good enough to make it into heaven on your own merits. And so the Holy Father sent his son down here to be abused and used and to be tortured on your behalf. And y'all rock with that. Y'all think that's cool with that? Fine. You know, you can do that. You know, that's you. But it ain't me. That's not how Big Mike roll. That's not my Steve's partner. I can't get down with that, man. I cannot get down with nobody taking any sort of bruises or stripes or whips or any sort of abuse on my behalf, Jack. You know what I mean? My conscience won't allow it, man. So, I mean, that's the main thing that, you know, I can't do it, man. My manhood won't allow me to do it, man. Shoot. The Most High and the God that I know, the Most High and the God that I serve, he a G, he a boss, man, and he is not about to let me slide on some shit like that, man. You know, he's not gonna do it. Not the one that I know, not the one that I rock with, not the one that I serve, man. He is not about to let me pass on no soft ass shit like that, man. See, that's what we got going on in society right now, and society itself is crumbling because of this thought process. You know, that thought process that everyone should get a participation trophy. You know, there is no such thing as excellence. There is no such thing as first place. I mean, you tried, so everyone gets a trophy. Nah, bullshit. No. That's antithetical to manhood and masculinity, man. And I mean, this is the main reason why our society is crumbling today. Way too much female energy, man. Way too much female energy, man. We need some of that masculinity coming back in the game, man. So, yeah, that's what I told my partner, man. I'm like, man, I just can't do it, man. I can't live my life low key on some homoerotic shit. And then he was like, homoerotic? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, man. Like, just when I just listen to the gospel music that these brothers be listening to, man. To me, once again, I'm not trying to insult none of y'all, man, but this is just me, man. This is just me. You know, it just sounds homoerotic, man. They like, Jesus love me. I'm like, oh no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, son. I can't do it, man. You know what I mean? They talking all this, you know, I love Jesus and he loved me, and you know, it just sounds homoerotic. And then you look at the very paintings of Jesus, man. I mean, if you know what you're looking at, I mean, they depict this white Jesus in a very androgynous, homoerotic fashion and shit. I just, no, my third eye's open, and you know, and you just can't unsee a thing, man. You just can't unsee it. What y'all want me to do is pretend that I don't see the shit, man, and I see the androgyny in these artistic renditions of Jesus, man. Yeah. And everybody knows that the Greeks and the Romans and the Europeans, it was big on that homosexuality, right? And it shows in their art. You know, but these are things that y'all hang up in your house. Nah, bruh, Not me, nor my progeny, nor my bloodline will be exposed to this. Straight gangsters, straight bosses, straight G's. That's it. No sir. There will be no funny business in my house. No, there will not. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, when I hear gospel music, you know, that don't agree with my spirit. You know, it just sounds very feminine. It's very suspect to me. You know, you singing, hoping that some man is going to come and save you. I'm like, nah, it's not boss. It's not gangster. It ain't G. It ain't manly enough. It's against the G code, man. It's no. You know, but I understand, man. You know, y'all actually think he's literal God in flesh. All right. You know, hey, but like I said, man, I mean, I've been studying up on this shit ever since, like I say, ever since I cracked open my first book and was reading about Greek and Norse and Roman mythology, man, when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I've always been thoroughly fascinated with, you know, the gods and theology and whatnot, man. And to this very day, man, I'm still studying up on things. And you know how you know how you know that you really gangster at this shit, man? You know how you really know that every time I crack open a book or I'm on YouTube and I'm listening to lectures, you know, man, it is still hard for me to listen to something and actually learn something. Yeah, every now and then, you know, I'll be like, oh, damn, really? I'll have a eureka moment. And I'll be like, man, I didn't know that, man. But I've been doing this so long, man, that it's just hard for me to listen to things and be totally blown away with the stuff, man, because I've just been doing it for so long, man. Now, unfortunately, I got this affliction where I don't have the recall. You know what I mean? I can't actually recall the stuff out of my mind, out of my brain and stuff, man. So, but when I hear other people speaking on it, I'll be like, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to be speaking on certain things and, you know, piss y'all off, man. I know how y'all get with the shit, man. But, you know, I still got to tell y'all how I feel, man, and, you know, how I get down, man. And to me, and I could be wrong, allow me to go ahead and hit y'all with that to ease the pain. Yeah, man, it's just very homoerotic. It's very unmanly. And I just can't rock with it. I can't get down with it. Just like when I used to be riding around, you know, with my broads, man. Some of my broads was crazy. I mean, they was about that life, man. I mean, they would go in your pockets and steal your shit, man. They would go and do something strange for some change at parties, man. And they would do porn. And they would get in the ride and put in it. This is how long ago this was. They would put in a gospel tape. Yeah, I said tape. It wasn't even CDs. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? Oh, that's BB and CC whining. So I'm like, you better get that shit out of my ride, bitch. Like, you knows that gets no play in my ride. Shit, for those that know, that's an ode to Menace to Society, man. You know that pro-black shit don't get no play in my ride. Hey, man, you know what I mean? Yeah, I be like, no, can't play that. No, you want to bring the demons up out of me? You play that shit around me, man. That sent me into a fucking fit. I'm like, man, shit. That shit right there, man. All I can envision is slaves and niggas getting beat and niggas getting whipped and niggas crying and, you know, serving white folks tea. That's all I see. That's all I can envision when I hear gospel music, man. Ain't shit masculine and ain't shit manly about that, man. That is the soundtrack of those who want their ass kicked in life. Shit, that's used to be a subservient. There ain't nothing subservient about Big Mike, Jack. Not in the least. Well, anyway, yeah, went ahead and said some things once again to piss off folks and to get them to unsubscribe. Shit, man. I just thought that was an interesting conversation that I had the other day, man. I was like, man, you've been rocking with me this long, partner, and you still don't understand what my gripe is with religion as a whole, and especially Christianity. I'm like, nah, man, I just, you know, I mean, you do you, and you know, and I hope you're happy, and I hope you getting what you could get out of it, and I hope it gives you strength, man. But it don't do that with me, man. Shit, it does the exact opposite. And maybe one day I'll go ahead and get a little deeper on some things, man. But you know, I've just found out that once again, you are at where you are at, and no amount of me saying this, that, and the third is going to convince you otherwise. Because in order to build the temple, you gotta have materials, man. You gotta have bricks. And a lot of y'all do not have the necessary material, the necessary bricks to build that temple, man. You know what I mean? And what do I mean by material? What do I mean by bricks? That's knowledge. You are the sum total of all the knowledge that you've ingested your whole life, man. And if the only thing that you've ever read is the Bible, and if the only thing that you've ever actually got into is church politics and, the theology of church and listening to the pastor say this, that, and the third, I mean, you're not going to be able to even comprehend most of the shit that I'm spitting, man. You just not. You're not. While I, on the other hand, I know full well what you talking about, where you been, and what you about, man, when it comes to Christianity. Yeah, I used to be you. I used to do the shit that you did, man, or the shit that you do. You know what I mean? But on the other end, the other end of the spectrum, man, you don't have the necessary bricks or materials to build the temple, bro. You just don't. I'm trying not to come off like a know-it-all, man, but I mean, it is what it is, man. There's some cats that speak on some things. I'm like, wow, that was really deep. That was really profound. Yeah, every now and then that happens with me, every now and then, but it's not often, man. It ain't often. And once again, Big Mike, the almighty Triple XL, coming at y'all live and direct, Maxi Limits Radio Show and Philosopher King Central. And we out.